From the outside, Gargantua Mountain looked exactly the way a mountain that harbors a dragon ought to look. Craggy, snow-tipped, occasionally emitting suspicious puffs of smoke. Travelers pointed at it from the safety of meadows and spoke in hushed tones about the terrible creature said to be coiled inside, sleeping on unimaginable riches. Minstrels sang baleful ballads, poets wrote flowery warnings, and the Royal Cartographers Guild drew big orange arrows that read, "Here be fiery fiends, proceed never." They were half right. A dragon did live there, yet the unimaginable riches never materialized, unless you counted a mountain of expired, coupon booklets, dog-eared takeout menus, and promotional mailers dated 2 decades prior. The dragon's name was Flambar Thriftwing, and his caves smelled faintly of damp ink and old glue. Flambar's affair with coupons began innocently enough several centuries earlier. While raiding a village, he'd found a parchment advertising 2 flagons of mead for the price of 1. Expiration date, year 14th of Frostfall, 873. The concept transfixed him. He, a creature equipped with wings, flame, and scales of tempered steel, could have something for nothing, or at least for less than the usual something. The parchment went straight into his treasure satchel. From that day on, gold coins just seemed gauche. Anyone could steal gold, but could they locate an original buy 3 hogshanks, get 1 free voucher from the legendary Butchers of Brinehaven, a shop that went out of business in 966? Exactly. Generations rolled by. The mountain's interior became a stratified archive of retail hopes and marketing dreams. There were crates of scrolls emblazoned, 50% off dragon repellent. Some restrictions apply. There were limited edition punch cards from taverns that had long since burned down. Some by Flambar's own doing. Pure coincidence, he insisted. Entire stalagmites were plastered with peel-off stickers offering 1 copper off shoe polish. None of it was remotely redeemable, but the dragon nurtured profound affection for each artifact. At night, he would curl around his troves, inhaling the dusty perfume of dead bargains, humming lullabies from merchant jingle scrolls, and feeling richer than any monarch alive. He might have wallowed in this peculiar bliss forever, but the kingdom of Crostalon underwent a civil service renaissance. King Arborelius the sensibly parsimonious, known as Arby the CPA by detractors, was determined to modernize public coffers. He founded the Mythical Revenue Service, or MRS, and decreed that all fire-breathing entities within kingdom borders, natural or supernatural, must declare holdings for taxation. Dragons sit on fortunes while honest folk foot the bridge repair bill, he proclaimed, banging a silver gavel shaped like an abacus. This shall end. Teams of bean-counting envoys fanned out with ledgers, enchanted abacuses, and aggressive quills. They performed audits on griffins, whose nests overflowed with stolen heirloom pendants. Krakens, who apparently accepted tribute in doubloons via waterproof coffers. And even a particularly acquisitive troll, who kept silver spoons under his bridge. But none of those prepared the Humorous for Flambar Thriftwing. The audit notice arrived on a Tuesday, delivered by a courier sprite in a tiny charcoal suit. Flambar, reclining on a mound of 5 pies for 5 pence pamphlets, squinted at the envelope. Urgent. Asset Declaration Request. Section 419B. Hoarded Valuables. Fire Drake Bracket. He read aloud. Failure to comply punishable by forced repayment in gold, gems, or equivalent instrument of real value. He chuckled smoky plumes. Real value. How quaint. He tossed the parchment onto a heap of free goblet with every 9 pitchers tearaways. Surely their bureaucrats assumed he had gems. He didn't intend to correct them. If he ignored the letter, they would depart like so many villagers with torches who lost heart. He underestimated the dogged nature of public accountants. Exactly 11 days later, two impeccably uniformed auditors tramped up the mountain. A dwarf named Coppertrill Axelwort, carrying a ledger thicker than his biceps, and a senior dryad named Quince Seedleech, whose bark-skinned arms sprouted quill pens like odd blossoms. A floating cubic pixie lantern, enchanted to glow a sterile office white, accompanied them. They walked straight past scorching fumes that would have spooked adventurers, each shielded by bureaucratic immunity and an abiding faith in regulations. According to Section 14's B, subclause, Dragon, we must provide the audit target an introduction, a summary sheet, and a courtesy candy. Quince chirped in a sing-song voice, despite the sulfur smell coating her leaves. Protocol, yes, yes, muttered Coppertrill. He adjusted spectacles the size of monocles. If he eats us, file the post-mortem forms in triplicate. They stepped into Flambar's lair and froze, partly out of fear, partly out of confusion. Instead of glittering coins, waist-high piles of parchment sprawled like snowdrifts. Flambar lifted his head, scattered a cascade of brochures that fluttered from his horns, and exhaled pleasantly warm smoke. Visitors! Mind the expiration avalanche? I reorganized by thickness of dotted line perforation, and it's a precarious filing system. Quince swallowed. Flambar Thriftwing, the one and only. I'm Quince Seedleech, Senior Bark Counter, Mythical Revenue Service. This is Auditor Coppertrill. Under sovereign authority, we hereby commence an examination of your taxable assets. She offered a tray of individually wrapped butterscotch candies. Courtesy sweet, Flambar blinked. Oh, don't mind if I... Wait, is it expired? Coppertrill sniffed. No, produced last month. Sad, the dragon sighed, declining. Freshness lacks charisma. Quince cleared her throat, produced a magical stylus, and spoke the incantation to start a self-moving parchment ledger, which floated nearby, ready to transcribe. Please state the nature of your hoard. Gladly. Flambar beamed, rising to his full, majestic height. I possess a priceless collection of half-off boiled egg scrolls from the Second Age, a near-complete run of complimentary Goblin Slayer helmet polish, limit 1 per customer vouchers, and behold, he stomped, causing a stack to splay open like an accordion. The Crown Jewel, a 1 free Siege Tower rental coupon, black ink variant, misprint where they forgot the not valid during wartime clause. Only 3 known to exist. Coppertrill scratched his beard. And the gold. Flambar's snout wrinkled. Gold! Heaven forfend! Do I look pedestrian? The dwarf's quill paused midair. Sir, coupons are intangible promissory artifacts, not treasure. Their value is contingent, not inherent. Inherent to those lacking imagination, perhaps, Flambar huffed. A glittering doubloon never saved anyone 15% on potions of minor healing. Quince tried diplomacy. We respect alternative asset classes. However, our tables provide depreciation scores, and these coupons are expired. That implies a market worth of... Exactly! Beyond price! They transcend petty commerce! He patted a crate labeled Buy One Amulet, Get One Free. Spirit possession may occur. Consider the historicity, the typography, the gravy stains of yesteryear. Coppertrill scribbled vigorously. Taxpayer exhibits signs of appraisal delirium. Noted. The ledger intoned in a bland monotone. Flambar's tail swept defensively. I will not allow you Philistines to haul my legacy to the smelter. Quince clasped her leafy fingers. We don't seize property unless liabilities exceed thresholds. Our duty is to estimate taxable value or assess deficiency penalties. If your holdings equal 0, you might still face underreported wealth fines, prorated to potential hoard size, for a dragon your age. Potential hoard size. Flambar bark laughed. Sparks rained on expired discount scrolls, which fortunately refused to burn. Fireproof coatings were common marketing gimmicks centuries ago. Coppertrill pointed at a crystalline abacus. Statistically, adult reds average 3 caverns of jewels, factoring 11.2 cubic meters per century lived. You are 6 centuries old. That's 67 cubic meters. Oh, or equivalent. Where is it? Out there, boring someone else. Flambar turned away, offended. I curated whims, not to satisfy spreadsheets. We shall take a full inventory, Quince declared. Please stand aside. The auditors waded into the papery labyrinth. They measured. They sniffed for enchanted metals. They cast spells revealing any hidden bullion. All they found were more coupons. Some bore scorch marks. Others smelled of pickled herring. They located an entire alcove devoted to free sample sachets of dragon-scented cologne, crumbly with age. Coppertrill sneezed a cloud of ancient musk. Hours passed. The auditors' neat uniforms collected flecks of confetti-like perforations. The floating pixie lantern dimmed, despondent. Eventually, they returned to Flambar, who lounged on a throne fashioned from bundled 10% off any throne at King's Chairs offers. Conclusion? He asked smug. Quince looked defeated. Taxable liquid assets, nil. Tangible property, negligible. Intellectual property rights, uncertain. Do you own the slogan, "Put the gore in gruel"? Only the 10th year anniversary holographic printing, Flambar answered brightly. She sighed. That's outside our purview. Unfortunately, Section 14B states that if a dragon's possessions fail to meet the minimum hoard threshold, expressed in gold weight or gem equivalent, we must impose a pecuniary potential penalty. In short, you're fined for having too little treasure. Flambar's jaw dropped. I'm being penalized. For thrift. For under-contributing to the fiscal ecosystem, yes. Coppertrill confirmed. It discourages hoard laundering via conversion to worthless bric-a-brac. But these are priceless. Let me rephrase. Worthless to the crown. Your total fine stands at 2,000 imperials, due in material coinage. Flambar's wings drooped. I don't have coinage. I reject coinage. This is an existential contradiction. Quince, amply sympathetic, patted his scaly forearm. There are alternative payments. Pledge of service, assignment of magical rights, or participation in the revenue reclamation program. Reclamation? Coppertrill's eyes gleamed, as if he'd waited all day to pitch. We incinerate deficits, sometimes literally. You transfer chattel. We auction to collectors. There's a burgeoning hipster market for expired artifacts. Trendy bards decorate taverns with them. Flambar bristled. My museum pieces reduced to ambience for sandal-wearing lute strummers who say, ironically, never. Then pledge of service, Quince offered. Historically, dragons assist with civic works, bridge heating, marsh drainage by controlled immolation. Unthinkable. My flame is reserved for special occasions, like reheating leftover sheep. Coppertrill shrugged. Final option, pay in gold. Acquire it however you wish, but remit within 30 days or we impose garnishment spells. Confiscate your wing membranes as collateral. Flappy surcharge! Line 9. Flambar's eyes widened at his leathery wings. Monstrous? Fine. I shall acquire gold. Leave me. Quince nodded, issuing form, Mrs. 982. Notice of insufficient sparkle. She placed it atop a stack of 2-for-1 crystal balls leaflets, bowed, and departed with Coppertrill, who muttered about baths of antiseptic. The second they were gone, Flambar dove into crisis mode. 30 days to collect 2,000 gold pieces. He'd purposefully avoided touching gold for centuries. The stuff made him itchy with mainstream mediocrity. Worse, He had no instinct for valuing it. Was 2,000 a mountain or a puddle? Humans talked about small fortunes and kings' ransoms, yet he'd never kidnapped a king. Only some sheepdogs, released unharmed whenever their coupons expired. He consulted his archives for inspiration. Somewhere, there must be a way to alchemize coupons into cash. Day 1. Brainstorm. He unfurled a banner. Free brainstorming session with purchase of any idea. It didn't help. Day 4. Attempted to find a buyer for the Siege Tower voucher. He flew to Ironclad Contracting, a mercenary engineering guild. Their foreman laughed. "We went digital years ago," she said, showing him a miniaturized siege tower that unfolded from a gemstone like origami. Plus, that coupon's void. Flambar left dejected, but pocketed a promotional magnet from their front desk. Day 7. He tried a rummage sale outside his cave. Passers-by found it baffling. "Ooh, half-off leech therapy!" exclaimed a witch. "That's from before the Black Plague. It excludes necrotic infections." He folded his wings apologetically. Sales. 3 copper pennies and half a sausage, which he accidentally roasted while sighing. Day 9. Noticed a courier pigeon advertisement offering, "Turn your antiques into gold. We pay fair market rates." He mailed a sample bundle of early-era parchment, an unredeemed instant catapult warranty extension. The reply: "Dear Sir, we regret items hold sentimental not monetary worth. Stop sending us birds." They returned the coupon, along with a bill for pigeon cage cleaning. Date 12. Panic Nibble. Dragons don't usually chew parchment outside celebratory confetti storms. But stress gnawed his resolve. He swallowed a wedge of buy one torch, get one free tokens, and felt heartburn of historical proportions. Day 14. Epiphany struck like lightning on a weather vane. If the coupons had no current value, perhaps he could make them current again by reviving the businesses themselves. If one of those defunct shops reopened, he could present the coupon, obtain merchandise, and resell for gold. Brilliant! He scanned the stacks for a candidate within reach. The 12 Barrels Brewery voucher promised lifetime supply of ale for bearers of this scroll. Lifetime supply sounded lucrative if one had a very short lifetime. E.g., a thirsty dwarf investor. The brewery had gone bankrupt after a yeast blight, but its ruins lay only a half-day's flight away. Day 15. Flambar soared to the desolate brewery grounds. Vines strangled copper vats. The sign dangled by a nail. He inhaled determination and blasted flames across the courtyard, melting debris into glassy puddles. Then he gathered rubble, hammered vats with his tail, and reignited the kettles. Local hop sprites emerged from hiding, and impressed by the dragon's tenacity, volunteered to help. They summoned fresh yeast strains from their hidden larders. By dusk, frothy foam sloshed joyfully. Flambar christened the reopened operation Thriftwing Ales and Tales. He redeemed his own coupon, no expiration date, hallelujah, filled casks, and loaded them on a wagon hitched to a scared stiff but compliant ogre. Day 17. He toured neighboring villages, offering authentic vintage ale recipe revived by fire-roasted oversight. The novelty sold out instantly to nostalgic elders and novelty-seeking youngsters alike. Profits: 300 gold coins, plus tips in the form of crocheted coasters. World's best dragon brewer. Encouraged, he repeated the strategy. Day 19. Rebuilt. Helga's Helm Polish stand. His voucher granted him free polished gallons, which he jarred and marketed to knights obsessed with mirror shine. Day 22. Resurrected Sir Cluck's poultry shack. Broiled chickens with his flame breath, and accepted payment in gold nuggets from prospectors who preferred roast to rations. Each resurrected business honored the ancient coupon out of gratitude. They had, after all, been given a second life by their eccentric benefactor. Meanwhile, word spread. A Dragon Angel investor. Entrepreneurs lined up with dilapidated storefronts and watery dreams. Flambar, though busy, maintained his discriminating eye. We'll revitalize only establishments whose coupons I possess. That limited scope, but kept mission purity. By day 26, sacks of gold clinked within his cave. He stored them in a corner, with visible distaste, like someone who reluctantly hosts a loud uncle. The coupons, now interspersed with deposit receipts, seemed to wink smugly. See, we paid off after all. Day 28, disaster. The brew kettle at Thriftwing Ales exploded. Faulty hobgoblin pressure gauge. Lawsuits threatened. Knights slipped on overpolished helmets, citing negligence. His revived empire teetered on the brink of collapse, and potential gold drains loomed larger than the original tax bill. Flambar curled in anguish, wings shielding his coupons as though they could solve everything. Maybe they could. He sorted feverishly for any piece of parchment, granting immunity, indemnity, or free legal counsel. At dawn, he found it. Complimentary representation by Barrister Basilisk and Associates, valid until end of all seasons. No expiry. He thundered across the skies to their subterranean law chambers. Barrister Basilisk, a serpentine lawyer who could petrify opponents with a stare. Useful for cross-examinations. Owed him one free case. The Basilisk accepted, partly because refusing a dragon is poor etiquette, partly because the coupon featured his younger self, sporting a dapper bow tie. Within 48 hours, all lawsuits settled for modest mead vouchers and an autographed wing scale. Day 30, audit return day. Flambar arranged his cave strategically. Coupons forming gentle backdrops. Gold coins in neat, if resentful pyramids. He brewed a pitcher of vintage ale, tax-deductible promotional beverage, and awaited the bureaucrats. They arrived at noon, punctual as doom. Coppertrill inhaled the scent of money before entering. Quince smiled politely. "Please refreshments," Flambar offered, pouring ale into acorn cups he'd crafted for the Dryad. Coppertrill eyed the gold. Significant improvement. He unlocked a fresh ledger. Let's see. 2,000 Imperials owed. Flambar nudged forward. 3 stuffed strong boxes. 3,000, actually. I like to pay ahead. Locks in early Drake discount, correct? Quince's wooden cheeks flushed green in pleasant surprise. Indeed. 5% rebate on next audit cycle. Very prudent. Coppertrill counted, bit a coin, chipping a molar, and stamped. Paid in full. Overage. The ledger fluttered shut. "May we inquire your method?" Quince asked, professional curiosity trumping formality. Flambar's grin stretched like a smoldering sunrise. "Value appreciation via resurrection of vintage commerce! Coupons, my dear auditors, are time capsules of possibility. One need only coax the possibility back into the present." Coppertrill jotted furiously for an internal white paper titled Alternative Asset Revival Strategies. Quince nibbled her courtesy candy, thoughtful. "We also noticed," Coppertrill said, "you now possess gold. This means next year you must declare under standard Hoard guidelines." Flambar sighed philosophically. "So the wheel turns. Perhaps I'll diversify. Some gold, some loyalty punch cards, maybe a treasury of expired transit tokens." Quince stood. "Mr. Thriftwing, on behalf of the Crown, thank you for your cooperation. Also," she hesitated, "do you happen to have any spare coupons for broomstick tune-ups?" My flight bristles squeak. Flambar's eyes sparkled. He rummaged gracefully, produced a violet voucher stamped 802 AD. First tune-up free, second at half price, with complimentary cinnamon broom wax. Expires upon lunar implosion. Still good. Quince accepted with glee. I shall treasure it. She bowed. Coppertrill, not to be outdone, coughed. Any chance of, dwarven beard braid discount chits? Flambar chuckled molten air. Whole crate! But remember, only the expired ones possess soul. He gifted Coppertrill a rusted coupon promising 1 free beard bejeweled with semi-precious stones, while supplies last. The dwarf clutched it reverently. As the auditors departed, the pixie lantern winked at the dragon, bureaucratic luminescence showing rare approval. Flambar watched them descend the path. He turned to his hoard. The gold towered in neat, yet boring peaks. But the coupons, creased, frayed, unapologetically outdated, still formed the heart of the mountain's magic. Their corners fluttered in a draft like eager flags of forgotten empires. He stretched contentedly. Tomorrow, perhaps he'd reopen the Mad Minotaur Maze Park. Free admission with voucher, helmet rental extra. After all, he now understood the secret. Treasure isn't just what glitters. It's what inspires a story and occasionally pays your taxes. With a satisfied rumble, Flambar curled among histories of half-off dreams, dug his claws into priceless paper, and drifted to sleep, planning his next resurrection. Somewhere in the kingdom, a shuttered hat shop or abandoned pastry mill awaited its second chance, preserved within the folds of an expired coupon and the rediscovered fire of a dragon who believed nothing ever truly loses value, least of all a good joke at the taxman's expense.